Why fast food sucks now.
I'm going to show you a few different modern fast food locations with the logos removed, and I want to see if you can guess which restaurant it is. Here
Okay.
is number 1. That is Panda Express.
Okay, I wouldn't
Here's
guess that.
number 2. That is Arby's.
Arby's.
Here is number 3. That is Burger King. Here is number 4.
Wendy's?
That is Wendy's.
Oh, okay, I got that one right.
Fast food restaurants in America have completely lost their identity.
They really
but it doesn't
have. Fast food restaurants used to have color. What happened to it?
stop at these soulless gray buildings. Fast food used to be cheap, tasty, and most importantly, fast. And on top of that, the experience used to be fun. Today,
Ain't
the
fast
color
food
is
anymore.
gone. The
Takes
prices
forever to
for
make
a
the
meal
food.
are almost the same as a regular restaurant, and the service is slower than ever. But this did not happen by accident. In fact, it's all by design. And today I'm going to break down why fast food today is colorless, expensive, and slow. And while it might sound like all hope is lost, there is something you can do to change it. And if enough of us do that, we just might be able to return to the glory days. Modern American fast food buildings are the perfect representation of the soul that's been sucked out of the industry. What used to be these creative architectural fun houses have transformed into sterile gray boxes that are
Fast food is mad nowadays. Yeah, I mean, McDonald's food is just terrible now. I think their French fries used to be amazing. Now they're just so low quality, it's insane. Their chicken nuggets are still good. I'll give them that. Even if that's not really, I don't think that's even real chicken. That's what I heard. The only fast food restaurant that's still good to me now is Taco Bell. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, like McDonald's used to have color. It looked like a place where you wanted to go. It like caught the eye and
severely lacking identity. Some of them kind of look like modern homes. Some of them look like banks. Some of them just look like corporate offices.
Yeah.
But when you remove the logo, you genuinely could not tell what restaurant it was.
No.
Compare that to what this architectural illustrator posted on Reddit. Even without the logos, you can still tell which building belongs to each fast food brand. Or can you? I'll see if in the comments one of you gets all 12 correct.
Okay.
Early fast food
Let's go back.
brand.
Wait, hold on. I know for sure this is McDonald's. I know for sure this is Pizza Hut.
Or can you? I'll see if in the comments one of you gets all 12 correct. Early Taco Bell locations were designed to evoke the look and feel
Man,
of
look how good
traditional
Taco Bell
Spanish
used to
and
look.
Mexican style architecture. The original buildings featured stucco walls, red clay tile roofs, exposed wooden beams, and arched entryways. Now, you get a gray box with a modern purple LED light. Pizza Hut's red roof became such an iconic part of their design that now when a new business takes over the building and attempts to redesign, everyone knows it used to be a Pizza Hut. But today's Pizza Hut? Yep, another gray box. McDonald's used to have these big glowing arches you could see from a mile
That's
away.
what made them
I was surprised
McDonald's
to
what
find
it
out
is.
that there are still a few locations that maintain that 1960s vintage look.
Really?
Take this Bloomington, Minnesota location for example. It still has the massive arches on each side, the red and white striped bricks around the edges, and red outline gives it this cartoonish but welcoming vibe. But sometime in 2023, they decided to get rid of all that charm and paint it gray. During McDonald's nationwide boom in the 1970s, they made a major rebrand to build locations faster. The red mansard roofs with the yellow accents that were supposed to resemble French fries is what most people remember visiting throughout their childhood. There are still a few locations out there that haven't been modernized. This one in Dunedin, Florida looks absolutely beautiful with the palm trees and the bright blue sky.
Yeah.
Or check out this stunning Durham, North Carolina location. This photo was taken in 2021, but it looks like we took a time machine back to 1993. Sadly, this one was also painted entirely gray in 2024. Even this location outside of Disney World looked like a theme park of its own. And I'm sad to admit that this creative masterpiece has been replaced by what looks like
That's
a
so
corporate
sad.
headquarters. Now, one of the main reasons behind the gray box trend is that it's a safer, smarter real estate investment. This strategy leans heavily on modular construction and prefab standardized architecture. When a previous brand needed a very specific build out, which usually came down to their custom roofs, it just cost more. And in a way, they're also preparing for their imminent failure because these vague buildings can be transformed into just about any other business. In New Jersey, this Wendy's was transformed into a Burger King.
Now it all
In
makes
Missouri,
sense.
This old Burger King was turned into a Wendy's. This former Taco Bell KFC combo was turned into a local pharmacy. And this former Arby's is now a local pizzeria. And to no surprise at all, the local pizzeria made a more charming and visually interesting design. Now, my favorite favorite is
Seems.
when chains actually do the opposite of this, when they repurpose an old building, like this old bank in Wilmington, North Carolina that was transformed into a Dunkin' Donuts. It's undeniably smarter and probably more sustainable to build buildings that can outlive the brand inside them, which will in turn reduce waste and provide opportunity to future businesses. But there's just something sad about it too. Each restaurant lost all its character. But it's not just the exterior that lost its character. The interior is where many of these places thrived.
Yeah.
Stepping inside used to feel like entering a little world of
Look
its
at
own.
that.
Taco Bell had these purple and teal Art Deco chairs, textured wall tiles, and neon squiggles that felt like walking through a 90s arcade. People today would probably call this tacky, and they might not be wrong, but damn, it has an identity. But before we dive deeper,
really
the other
did.
day I wasted hours trying to cancel all those subscriptions I forgot about. Luckily,
yeah,
today's
make your
sponsor,
bag,
Rocket
man.
Money, is subscription to get
Make your
started
bag,
for
man.
free. Wendy's had an immaculate 1970s grandma aesthetic, wood-paneled walls,
Oh,
stained
wow.
glass lamps hanging above every table, plush burgundy booths, and soft yellow lighting that made it feel more like a cozy living room
Man.
than a fast food joint.
I
And
really
these
wish I was a
sunrooms,
90s or
dude,
80s
these
kid.
sunrooms absolutely ripped. Pizza Hut felt like a legit sit-down restaurant with thick carpeting, red
That's
vinyl
so
booths,
beautiful.
and those iconic Tiffany-style lamps that turned every meal into a dimly lit occasion. McDonald's had burger seats. Look at these burger seats. Are they a little terrifying? Sure, but I think we can all agree that we want them back. And when management started encouraging a more kid-friendly atmosphere, almost every franchisee built
I remember when they
massive
used stuff like
playgrounds
that.
and indoor sets packed with massive tubes, nets, and ball pits to play in while the adults got to enjoy their meal. However, for years, McDonald's had been dealing with injury lawsuits where kids hurt themselves climbing around rope ladders and monkey bars. In a 5-year span alone, from 1986 to 1991, 1,500 injury claims
$4
were
million
filed against
fine.
McDonald's when kids fell off their equipment or got trapped in one of their structures. Hundreds, if not thousands of injuries went unreported, and not to mention the sanitation concerns. Even as a kid, I knew those things were filthy. Some places have still
Yeah.
tried to hang on to that old school charm well into the 2020s. I found this 1950s retro diner-inspired McDonald's location in Williamsburg, Virginia. They have a whole-ass 1957 Chevy on the inside just
Oh,
parked in the
wow.
middle of the restaurant. This beautiful time capsule location was, you guessed it, grayed out and turned into another modernized hospital cafeteria a few years ago. A location in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn was redesigned to a 1980s theme for a Marvel movie, and to no surprise at all, everyone loves it. And even though it still doesn't look like a true time capsule, it's
That's
just enough
better.
retro and modern combined to give the place a lot more soul. And if you're watching this and you have a fast food location near you that still has some old school charm, drop it in the comments because I want to see.
Yeah,
But the
not really.
blueprint for the
No,
modern
the McDonald's next to my house, it still has the play area, but it's modernized like this one right here. Burger King, there's nothing to it. The Taco Bell, nothing to it.
fast food gray box, the minimalism, the neutral tone textured wallpaper,
I have a play
the
place
IKEA
McDonald's
chairs that
near me.
hurt to sit in, the inoffensive abstract art, the dim industrial lighting, it can all be blamed on Chipotle. Chipotle's early 2000s expansion marked a turning point in the fast food industry.
Oh,
Their
wow.
concept was
How
called
Chipotle used
fast
to look.
casual. You still got your food quickly, but the experience felt more elevated. The menu was simple, the ingredients were marketed as fresher, and the
Chipotle is still
interiors
good too. I
ditched
love
the kid-friendly
Chipotle.
chaos in favor
It's another
of something
restaurant
more
I
modern. Because of
won't
this,
never
they were
hate.
able to charge a higher price, and teenagers, college kids, and young professionals were more than willing to pay. But they weren't just paying for vibes. Those 2010s Chipotle burritos were massive. You used to get at least 2 servings of food for one price, which made it comparable to 2 fast food trips. Chipotle's success came at a time when McDonald's and other giants were on a rapid decline. In 2003, McDonald's stock price fell to a 9-year low, and in Q4 of
Wow.
2023 was the first net loss in profits they ever had, losing $344 million. Public pressure around junk food intensified during this period. The Super Size Me documentary further tarnished the company's brand. The doc followed Morgan Spurlock, who ate at McDonald's restaurants 3 times a day every day
Oh, yeah, I
for
heard
a
about
month,
this.
consuming every item on the chain's chain's menu at least once. At the end of the experiment, the 32-year-old had gained 24.5 pounds, a 13% body mass increase, increased his cholesterol to dangerous levels, and became the proof the media needed to paint fast food as the face of America's obesity crisis. So while McDonald's scrambled to
kind of what America represents now is just fast food, obesity, and tons of other health problems. The worst part about it is it's so normalized. Like, you know, you start as a kid eating this stuff, then you go into adulthood and keep eating it. I mean, I used to eat McDonald's a lot when I was a kid, and I just stopped. I haven't eaten McDonald's in I don't know how long. I haven't eaten fast food in like so long.
Compare its image, Chipotle was thriving, offering a cleaner, simpler, healthier experience that looked and felt like the opposite of everything fast food had become. In response, McDonald's started the Forever Young campaign to transform the playground feel into a cafe-style space. What resulted was a push for a more contemporary aura, accented by terracotta, olive, and gray colors paired with wooden furniture. Of course, other fast food restaurants saw this change and followed suit. I also believe that the success of Starbucks and maybe even the Apple Store had a big impact on the aesthetics of fast food chains. Starbucks proved that people would pay a premium price to hang around in a space that felt upscale, and Apple taught the entire retail world that an ultra-minimalist design could signal trust and quality. Today, seemingly every fast food chain takes a little bit of inspiration from Chipotle, Starbucks, and the Apple Store, which has majorly contributed to them losing what made them special in the first place. Fast food restaurants were meant to be bold, fun, and kid-friendly, or even calm and cozy sit-downs for the family. But designers Lynn Rosenbaum and Michael Muchoff told the YouTube channel Cheddar that the design choices are nothing more than a marketing tactic.
We have to be perceived as new and fresh and offering food that is new and fresh. What has changed within our restaurants? We want to communicate that to the customer on the outside, and the easiest way to do that is through architecture and interior design.
How can we make it look healthier, but not actually make it healthier? That's basically the gist. I don't think any logical person is expecting fast food to be healthy, but the risk used to be worth the reward. Because beyond the building design and modern branding, it seems like they aren't even trying to make the food look or taste good anymore. The burgers aren't even close to as advertised, with buns flat as a pancake and lettuce that looks like it was left out all night. Places like KFC refuse to change the oil.
They
in
advertise the burgers like they're so high quality, and then you get it and it's like
fries you
it looks disgusting.
Like they were defrosted,
like
placed under
that.
a
It looks like
lamp,
that
and served without anyone noticing they missed a crucial step. Even legendary YouTuber The Report of the Week, who has spent the past decade reviewing fast food menu items, just about had a meltdown over the decline in quality and service across every big chain in the US after countless bad experiences in 2023.
Instances not as bad as this, but where there have been problems with my order, with the quality. It's just elapsing more and more. And it's not just Culver's. It's every place. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, you name it. There have been so many places, and I'm sure you've noticed this, that I've reviewed in the last couple years, where the food has just been awful. It's quite frankly disgusting. I hate when this happens. And what bothers me even more is when it's becoming more and more of the norm. When I'm trying out these sorts of items, and time and again, it's some burnt piece of garbage. It's some just vile slop, for lack of a better word. And it's getting to the point now where
it costs so much now too.
That I review is just, it's disgusting in some way or another. Or it's just so overpriced that it might be alright, but it's like you're burning your money. What's even the point?
But even if fast food companies lost the fun, lost the undeniable guilty pleasure taste, at least it's still cheap, right? Nope. Chick-fil-A, Arby's, Wendy's, Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Taco Bell, Popeyes, and McDonald's all raised their prices by 55 to 100% between 2014 and 2024. Most of us can remember a time where $5 could fill you up at most restaurants. Maybe you'd snag a couple of grillers or a fill-up box from Taco Bell, a McDouble, McChicken, and fries, a famous bowl from KFC, and even if you wanted to get full meals, you'd still spend less than $10. What I found shocking is that Columbus, Ohio has has the most affordable fast food in the country, but meals still cost $10 on average. Most cities average 12 to 13 bucks for a fast food meal, and I can say with certainty, at least where I live, that there are plenty of local restaurants serving way better food for $13.
Yep, same here.
Some McDonald's locations were charging as high as $18 for a Big Mac meal.
Oh my
In
God.
2024, the McDonald's president Joe Erlinger attempted to address many of the concerns that Americans had with McDonald's prices significantly rising. What's funny is that they made this graphic that claims to debunk a bunch of myths, while claiming that the facts state that they have only raised their prices by 20 to 40% since 2019. Like, they put this obnoxious
I want to just
claim as
say
a
I've never
myth.
had Big Mac
McDonald's
before.
medium fries
I don't
increased
think.
by 138%, just to attempt to soften the blow when they say that the fact is that the average price of a medium fries was a 44% increase. Like, we're supposed to be like, oh, only a 44% increase for fries that are soggy, cold, and take 20 minutes to get? Ah, that's so much better than 138%. The
I've never had
reality
Big
is
Mac
that
either.
fast food has entirely changed its value proposition
probably not
to
worth it now.
customers in America. It's no longer about being cheap. It's about being lazy. A professor of marketing at Johns Hopkins said, "These chains are not charity organizations. They are not trying to serve cheap food to people who are complaining about high prices. They're trying to get people who have either stopped going to the store or never went there." I suspect the value pricing approach is working for McDonald's. Okay.
Seems like me working for
kill
all
the
these
vibes,
places.
Ruin the taste, charge way too much money. Is it at least still fast? Well, kinda. The speed
No.
of service has drastically decreased as Americans
has.
become more dependent on the drive-thru. America runs on urgency. Our cities are built to drive around, not stop and hang out in. Our work weeks are packed, our commutes are long, and our breaks are short. Everything in our culture tells us to move faster, work more, and consume more. So we designed an entire meal experience around not having to stop moving. Pull up in your car, order before you speak to a person, get your food in a brown bag, and don't even look inside until you're already merging onto the highway, and stuff the fries down your throat with one hand while the other is on the wheel. Drive-thrus aren't about convenience. They're a survival mechanism for a society that doesn't have time to sit down. But now even that convenience is starting to collapse. What used to be a 3 to 5 minute pit stop has turned into a 15+ minute wait behind a line of frustrated drivers. Even places
Especially like
like In-N-Out are
Chick-fil-A.
facing major
Chick-fil-A is
problems
always
with
crowded
lines
where I
that
live.
literally cause traffic on the highways next to them. Pretty much every Chick-fil-A I've ever been to around lunchtime has
Yep.
2 rows of 20
looks just like
cars
that.
bumper to bumper. Many locations are trying to combat these frustrating wait times by having staff walk around with iPads so you can get that somewhat satisfaction that your order
Chick-fil-A
is
is
being
decent
taken care
too, I
of,
think.
but it doesn't make the food come out any faster. Now, you might think that removing drive-thrus in some locations or incentivizing walk-ins would somehow speed things up, but fast food restaurants have done their homework. Research shows that 47% of US consumers would simply avoid going to a store that doesn't have a drive-thru, and twice as many people prefer using the drive-thru to
Laziness.
going in store.
Pure
And
laziness,
that's because of
basically.
the American go culture, as well as us not prioritizing eating as a meaningful experience. It's just another task to check off the list. Meals in other countries are a cultural staple, a time to slow down, talk, share,
Yeah.
and connect. Americans treat eating as something you do out of necessity between meetings, in traffic, or while staring at your phone. And I'm talking to you, who's literally eating a meal while watching this right
I'm
now.
not eating.
The obsession with quick service,
I'm drinking.
combined with fast food's obsession with margins,
Come on,
is
Patrick.
slowly turning these restaurants into massive robotic garages, like this concept released by Taco Bell in 2022 for their
Okay, that
new
actually
vision
doesn't
for
look
making
bad.
service
That actually
easier
looks
than
kinda
ever
cool.
before. Or the new designs Chick-fil-A is rolling out that prioritize quick service, or Jimmy John's cutting down the size of their restaurant to resemble more of a studio apartment. To make it even more streamlined, restaurants are releasing AI menu stands that replace
Oh
human
yeah.
staff.
When I went to Taco Bell a little over a month ago, when I went through a drive-thru, they had AI voice talk to me. And I'm like, AI's already starting to replace fast food workers. It already is. It's like being implemented already.
Members, and the responses have been mixed, with some customers praising the decision and others arguing this is one step further in the wrong direction. So correct orders and no more attitudes for no reason? More jobs with human contact are going away. With fast
Yep.
food restaurants doing everything they can to make service seamless and Americans demanding even more convenience, how far away are we from a robotic arm extending from a building and just dumping the food
Yeah.
right into our mouths?
Pretty much.
But as grim as the future looks, there is a way to fight this. There is a way to demand change, get better quality food, better prices, better speeds, and an all-around better experience. The solution is quite simple. and it's being implemented all over the world. Fast food is better outside of America, not just by opinion, but by design. Many nations have stricter regulations on food quality, preservatives, and sourcing. In places like Japan, France, or Germany, the ingredients are often fresher, the portions are more balanced, and the presentation
It's because food in other countries, they don't use like the type of chemicals that we use here, or a type of like artificial flavoring like we use here.
is far more respectful of the dining experience. But this change didn't necessarily happen out of respect, it was by force. Like in France, when 5 activist farmers tore down a McDonald's that was being built in the southern town of Mallow in August 1999. They handed out Roquefort cheese at the protest, which they said was to denounce US import restrictions and hormone-treated beef. But this was a calculated attack. In that same week, French farmers dumped 6 tons of manure on a McDonald's restaurant in Arles. This was a symbol of resistance against American food imperialism and the spread of unhealthy, standardized meals. And it wasn't just about the food, they were defending culture, agriculture, and tradition. And it worked. French consumers began demanding locally sourced ingredients, and McDonald's responded. Today, around 75% of the food served in McDonald's France is sourced domestically. Now, this doesn't mean go and destroy your local McDonald's, but it is proof that a protest goes a long way. Also, McDonald's Europe became the first food service retailer in many markets to sell Marine Stewardship Council certified sustainable fish. The MSC is widely considered the gold standard certification for sustainable wild-caught seafood. Because if they did not meet these standards, then European countries would simply not allow them to serve fish. In India, they mostly don't serve beef or pork items due
in India,
to
they don't have beef in any of the
citizens.
fast food restaurants.
They serve taro pies. Taro is a plant native to Southeast Asia whose roots and leaves are used for food in this region. In Saudi Arabia, 100% of their menu must be halal. Therefore, all products served at McDonald's restaurants are inspected and approved by local authorities and Islamic inspectors at the countries of export. The point is, McDonald's and other fast food restaurants will abide by socio-cultural, religious, food preferences, and environmental factors, or they will simply not be allowed to serve food in that country. And they might even complement the country with a vibey atmosphere. They'll serve food in decommissioned planes in New Zealand, a colorful building pagoda in China, or a ski up in Sweden. The end result,
I've seen that
better
before.
service,
I saw pictures of that.
Better vibes, and customers who treat eating as something worth sitting down for. All of these point to the fact that fast food restaurants can still be colorful, fun, cheap, and have the best quality food available for their meals. It's just that they only change when people finally start to walk away. This is not the answer you want, but it is the truth. Sure, the buildings are gray and bland. Sure, the service is slow. Sure, the food doesn't taste as good, and corporate greed is driving up the price. But you can protest. You can just stop going, and they will be forced to resort back to the things that made these restaurants special in the first place. But until most of us refuse to order from these fast food restaurants, then nothing is going to change.
So moral of the story is if you protest or stop going to these restaurants, these companies will give in and listen and, go back to the way things were, possibly.